Hi, my name is Tyvis Powell, former Ohio State Buckeye and national champion DB. Welcome to the Buckeye Cast. These guys was born and bred in the Buckeye State, and they like to talk Buckeye football and drink bourbon. Subscribe to the show. Now pour up a drink and pull up a stool. Here's your host, Joe Warwick. Get him, Joe.
All right, Tyvis, we appreciate you. We are back. It's been a long time since we rock and rolled. Jeff is in here with me. I just saw Jeff a few hours ago. Yeah, a handful of hours ago, right? I didn't get to hang out with you much because you're at the other end of the table. Can't hear you, Jeff, if you're there. So anyway, folks, I got a question in for the chat already right off the top. This is your TBC Weekly, by the way. We're giving you our preview for the Tennessee Volunteers playoff game. Hey-o, first ever playoff game in Ohio Stadium in Columbus. So the question for the chat is, if Quinn Ewers does not enter the draft after this year, would you want him to be your starting quarterback for the Buckeyes? What if he came back to Columbus? There are rumors out there a certain Big Ten team is willing to pay upwards of $4 million to bring in Quinn Ewers. Is that Ohio State? We've heard Michigan State. So let me know what you think. Drop it in there in the chat, and we will get to those comments. And if you have any other questions and stuff, obviously we're going to get to our score predictions later, our microscopes, the players that we have our eyeballs on, and all the good stuff. So stay tuned for those things. Jeff. Hello. Can't hear you. We'll see if Shawn joins us here shortly.
I'm in.
Wait, what?
I'm in.
This says Jeff. We got all kinds of weird stuff going on here.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
All right. It says I have 2 Jeffs and 0 Shawns. I don't know what that's about. It says Jeff's offline. Anyway. All right, Shawn. Let's just roll with it. We're going to get to our question for the chat here shortly. But first of all, I know you're a huge fan of the 12-team bracket, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, huge fan, I know. So I guess I don't want to dig too down. I mean, we could do like 10 shows. I got you now, yep. We could do 10 shows about how fucked up this bracket is, how the Clemson's number 16 ranked team is in the playoff. None of this makes sense. Why is Penn State ahead of us when we beat them on the fucking field? A lot of things. But anyways, quick thoughts. I want to get quick thoughts and an overview from you guys on the bracket and especially the Ohio State path to a championship. What do you think?
Well, I think it's absolutely that bracket. I mean, is the worst possible bracket I think you could hope for. You know, in that text that you sent, you know, you pull a 10-2 team that was in the mix of it with the SEC to begin with. I mean, Tennessee's no pushover. You draw them first. Okay, that's fine. But then if you're lucky enough to win that, then you're going to go to the West Coast to play Oregon. And if you're lucky enough to that, you're going to go to Dallas to play Texas. And then if you're lucky enough after that, you'll probably be playing Georgia and Atlanta. And
Right.
it's, I mean, if the Buckeyes do this, it will be 100% earned.
Yeah, exactly. There's
And
no
I mean,
harder.
I saw percentages. I don't know if it was on one of the things that you sent that us and Tennessee were both at like 7.9%, and Penn State was actually second with like 19% or something because they got the easiest path. I mean, I said it when it came out. Texas
Exactly,
and
yeah.
Texas and Penn State, just man.
Let me pull that up. I think I have that here. Yeah, this is from Sportsline. I don't know. They have a model apparently. Let me see if I can share that with our good people here while we're talking about it. So yeah, Texas has the number one chance of winning the national championship. Let me drop this in. Jeff keeps bouncing in and out. And he constantly says he's offline. So anyway, let me see if I can share this with the peoples. Pull this up. Oh, shit. I spent like 6 hours on the freaking road today driving to and from Orlando. Or, yeah, not in that order. All right, here we go. So, yeah, national championship races. So Texas is number one, 24.9%. Penn State, 19%. And Oregon, 15%. Georgia, you can see there, 12.7. Notre Dame, 8.4. I guess they're probably giving them a little edge over us because they got a kind of an easy week one, right? I mean, playing Indiana. I do love that Clemson has like the least possible chance to win.
But watch out, old big day Dabo. Big game Dabo, man.
I love that he has Texas right off the bat, though. That's fine with me. He's going to get smoked. Let's see. So, we all know the bracket by this point. Any other thoughts on the bracket itself? I mean, when you compare that to the rankings, that's where I really don't get it. Two ACC teams in. I'm not a fan of that. I will say I'm glad that only 3 SEC teams got in and 4 Big Ten. So, and then the big issue is getting buys, the auto bids, the auto buys for the Big 12 winner and the ACC winner. That's just not necessary. It's uncalled for. You know.
Well, again, go to 8 or go to 16. Nobody gets a bye. I never thought it was. I never thought it was fair when they were going to give the 4 best teams buys. I'm like, hey, they're already the 4 best. They've already got an advantage. Everybody plays the same amount of games. Everybody's got to earn it.
Yeah. So right now, the betting odds in Vegas to win the championship, the national championship, Texas plus 360, Oregon plus 360 as well. Georgia plus 500, Ohio State plus 500, Penn State plus 600, Notre Dame plus 600. So you got like 3 pairs there. Kind of weird how they did that. I don't know why. But so Texas and Oregon really are not huge favorites to win the national championship. And I got to say, I think that I really feel good about a matchup with Oregon again. They haven't lost all year. It's impossible. And this is the worst time of the year to lose a game because you're out of the playoffs. You're better off losing a game during the season because the chances are that you go completely undefeated all the way through the playoffs and the regular season. Very, very slim. I mean, look at what the Patriots did when they went undefeated 16-0 in the regular season years ago. Lost in the playoffs. So it is impossible, in my opinion, to go clean sweep, wire to wire, week one, through the playoffs and the championship unscathed. You know, it's just, especially with college kids, they're even more of a variable than NFL players, you know. So I think Oregon definitely takes a loss. They are not going to be your national champions. I don't see it. Because they don't have a cupcake schedule either here. If you look at the
Well, right. I mean,
bracket.
if they beat us, then they're going to Texas, and then for sure.
Yep. Right.
Yeah. Same with Tennessee. Anybody going through our path that's a tough path. At Penn State.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
SMU and then Boise. I mean,
Exactly.
that's back. They're
Yeah,
basically in
they
the
got
old
the
playoff. They're basically in the old playoff structure where it's just 4 teams, where they play Georgia in the third round, which is the old semis.
right.
Yeah, that's pretty easy for Texas too, though.
Fuck yeah. I mean, well, if you're playing either Oregon or Tennessee or Ohio State in your third round or your third round matchup.
Yeah, but there it's not easy for anybody. Your third round, I mean, all bets are off. Everything, nothing's easy anymore, no matter what side you're on.
Right.
Unless Arizona somehow pops their way in there.
Yeah.
Indiana.
Jeff, are you back? Oh, and he's gone. We'll see if we can get Jeff back in here. He keeps popping in and out. This is like a freaking Groundhog Day. All right. And it says he's offline. All right. So let's get into it. You got anything else you want to talk about before we jump into the pregame for this Tennessee game?
I'm just excited to see how this thing all works out. I'm guessing I will watch. My eyeballs will probably be watching most of these games. So I think that's what college football wants. They want the eyeballs. They want the money. And I'm in, especially this year, just to see how it goes and what this thing looks like. It's still, maybe they can sell me on this 12-team bullshit, but I highly doubt it.
Yeah, I agree. So you got Friday night, Indiana at Notre Dame, a little in-state skirmish there in the Hoosier State. I think Indiana gets rolled easily. Then Saturday, you got your 3 games. Buckeyes obviously finishing up with the nightcap. What's the nooner there? SMU at Penn State. I mean, I think you could tell how whack this freaking bracket is when you just look at the spreads alone. You got 2 double-digit spreads here with Boise gets the bye, my bad. But the SMU Penn State game is a double-digit, and I believe the Texas and Clemson game, let me double-check that before I open my mouth too wide. NCAA, there we go. Let's see, Friday night. Okay, that's 8.5. The SMU Penn State game. Obviously, Penn State's the favorite. Yeah, Clemson and Texas. Texas favored by 11.5. That tells you Clemson does not belong in the playoffs, which I think we can all agree on. Ohio State and Tennessee is 7.5. And then, did I miss one?
Indiana Notre Dame 7.5.
7.5, yeah. So yeah, when
Hey
you start
Jeff, you
seeing,
there?
we got him. He's in here, right, Jeff? Oh, he was for a second. All right, so yeah, when you get up over a touchdown spread, in my opinion, like 8.5, and I think that SMU spread actually was up closer to 10 when it opened up, came down a bit. So, yeah, I think that tells you when you got 2 teams in there that don't belong. All right, so let's get into this Tennessee pregame. I tried to cram some Tennessee games into my eyeballs recently.
Can you say the quarterback's name correctly?
Ooh.
I am Malavia.
I am a leva.
I am a Leava. I am a Leva. I'm a
Or
lever.
Nico. That's like,
I think you
two
should go with
syllables.
I'm a lever. I'm a lever, motherfucker.
Yeah. I'll leave you in a parking lot. So, yeah, that's a good place to start right there. I mean, 8 o'clock, ESPN, ABC, whatever. Number 9, Tennessee, at number 8, Ohio State. At Ohio Stadium, the first playoff game in Columbus ever, the first December game in Columbus ever. Winner goes to the Rose Bowl to play the top seed Oregon. Again, somebody has to explain how this bracket works. That'll be January 1st, so New Year's Day, of course. The Rose Bowl definitely will be there. Usually it's at like what? Well, they play that 4 or 5 p.m., a weird time. Anyway, so Tennessee has wins over 3 ranked teams on the day of their game. So at the time they were ranked, not right now. NC State was 24, Oklahoma was 15, Bama was 7.
Oh, awesome.
What? What is that? Anyway, the losses were at Arkansas, who was 6-6, and they lost at number 12 Georgia. Josh Heupel's in his 4th year as the Volunteers head coach, 2nd year of double-digit wins. So I think was it 2022 with Hyatt and Hendon Hooker. They put up some yards and just whipped it around the yard. So yeah, getting into their offense, players to watch, like Shawn said, our guy Nico here, 6'6", 215. I think he's more like 195 with batteries in his pockets. I don't think that 215 is legit. Tall, he's definitely tall, but he's a skinny little sumbitch. And Jeff falls off again. Anyway, so he's thrown for what do we got here? 2,500 yards, 25-13, 19 TDs, 5 picks. They are more of a run first offense. Looking at the stats here, they put up 34 points a game. That's 15th in the country. Rushing the ball, they're 10th in the country, 226.2 per game. Passing, they're 77th. So again, Nico is not the focus of their offense. They put up 214 through the air, so mediocre there. And when that Tennessee offense is going against this Buckeye defense, the Buckeyes are top 5 in pretty much every defensive category, only allowing 10.9 points per game, 241.5 yards per game. Third down conversions just 33.5%. Rushing yards, they're 6th in the country, so kind of a strength on strength there. Tennessee's 10th, we're 6th, we allow 97. And then passing, say what you want about the Ohio State secondary this year, and we've said a lot. We're 2nd in the country in opponent passing yards per game. We allow just 144 through the air. So that's 2nd in the country. So I don't see how Nico's going to whip the ball around the yard here. He's more of a threat, I would say, with his legs at times. He gets out and will scramble. He has 39 scrambles on the year. Does have just 1 touchdown with his feet, but he has 4 of plus 15-yard scrambles. And he'll go get a first down with him. He's got 18 first downs just rushing the ball. So, again, he's going to take chances. He's a young guy, big arm. He's going to try and use that arm and try and make plays with his feet. But he can get lit up. So if you find him in the open field, you need to take your shot legally, obviously, right? What do you think, Shawn?
I mean, that kid's
Nico
been
do
talked
anything
about.
to intimidate you, though?
he's got all the tools. I mean, of one of those guys that you can. He can break one, and hit you with a 30-yard run on 3rd and long and some stupid things like that. Tennessee, they've got some athletes. They're a SEC school. Now that NIL's big, I'll bet you Tennessee does pretty well in that department of getting talent on that roster. So, I think it's going to be a tough SEC school, and we're going to need to bring our A game to win this game. And that, like you said, you know, that Sampson kid, he's a handful,
Yeah, we're going to get
and
into him. Yeah.
uh, we're gonna need to stop that guy because we don't want to get in one of these slugfests and you know
Mm-hmm.
again use our weakness and run into their strength on defense, which
Yeah.
you know th- this could set up very similar to a Michigan type team, frankly, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true on both sides of the ball, really. When I go back and look at Nico's stats in the Georgia game, for example, they lost 31-17. It was never really a ball game. It was 17-17 at the half, but they Georgia's defense just came out and shut them down. They did not score a point in the second half, but Nico only put up 167 through the air. On the ground, he had 12 carries for 18 yards. That includes sacks, of course. So I was not impressed because I would say the Ohio State defense is similar to Georgia's, maybe even better. Definitely not worse when you look at stats and things like that. And yeah, we'll go right into Dylan Sampson here. This guy's a freaking monster, man. Comparing him to other running backs around the country, he has the 3rd most forced missed tackles, 71 forced missed tackles. And then after contact, he's getting 3.62 yards a game after contact per carry. He's got what do we got here? 22. He's tied for first in the country in touchdowns with 22. Just 4 fumbles. He's got 1,482 yards on the season. It's a 5.8 yard per carry average. And this guy, he won't hit the home run much. He only has 17 carries of over 15 yards. And his breakaway yardage is not huge. But he's a strong runner. He's one of the highest graded running backs in the country. And looking at what he did here against Georgia as a comparison, he put up over 100 yards against the Georgia defense, and a touchdown. He had a long of 27 yards. So a lot of, just banging, a lot of pounding it up in there, and just had the one big carry to maybe make it a little lopsided. But he only had 19 carries on the day. Go ahead, Shawn, if you got something.
Oh, I didn't know if Jeff, are you there? Thought you might jump in. Thought I heard him.
He's in and out. We're just going to have to plow through.
No, yeah, that Sampson is a problem, and we're gonna need that sure tackling, or
This is great, guys. Having a great time. You're out, Shawn. Yep. Oh, yep. There we go.
go ahead, Jeff.
I think he's about to fall out.
Nope. You're in and out, Shawn. I don't know where we're at. I had you, and
Yeah,
then I
go ahead.
lost you.
Go ahead.
Dylan Sampson.
No. Go ahead on what? I can't hear you guys. I'm in and out. This has been completely frustrating. So I can't hear anything.
We're talking about Dylan Sampson. Do you got any opinion on that? Maybe I'll get off and hop back on, Joe. Like I hijacked his.
I don't know. I don't think that's the problem. It's basically the same show every week. All right, so let's plow through this. Dylan Sampson again. this guy, I was going to go back and look at how he fared against Bama. Let's see his recent games here against Bama. He's put up 139 yards and 2 touchdowns. He doesn't offer a lot in the pass game. You know, he just has 19 catches on the season, no touchdowns. Doesn't really have a huge average receiving, just 7.4 yards per catch. And against Bama, like I said, 139 on 26 carries, so they really leaned on him heavily. 5.3 yard per carry average there. This guy's got a solid 5.8 average on the season. So he doesn't have. Anyway, Jeff is hitting the ripcord. I don't think he'll be back. So yeah, he doesn't have. He doesn't take losses. He does not get stopped for 0 gain. Now, against this Buckeye defense, I bet you he does get stopped occasionally. I don't see him going for 100 against the Buckeyes. Again, like I said, this Buckeye rushing defense is 6th in the country. So, all right, Jeff's angry. Anyway, let's see what else. Let's talk receivers for Nico. So you got the most targeted is Brew McCoy. You remember him from recruiting?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's well traveled. This might be his 3rd stop, I bet.
Was he? He was on our team, wasn't he?
No, he was.
No.
He I think he started off at USC. Oh, then he went to Tennessee. I thought he was at Texas for a minute, maybe just a cup of coffee. But anyway. So he's the most targeted receiver. He's got to be running out of eligibility, right? Yes, this is his 4th year, so maybe one more year. 58 targets on the year, 35 catches, a couple touchdowns. Then you got a guy named Squirrel White. Yeah, only fitting that a guy from Tennessee is named Squirrel, right? 52
White.
targets, 33 catches, 2 touchdowns. What's that?
Nothing.
Chris Brazel, he's got 50 targets. So they spread the ball around through the pass game. But again, like we talked about with Nico, they're not putting up huge numbers through the air. The big concern is they have these wide splits, you know, where the receivers like basically line up outside the numbers, and then but most of their routes are in breaking towards the defense, towards the center of the defense. So, except for the occasional fade routes, of course, but they don't really seem to throw a lot of fades. I mean, I think the average depth of target for Nico is around 11 yards, you know, which is more than a lot of people. It's more than Will Howard, for example. But, so yeah, these receivers don't do a lot of damage. Contested catches, each guy just has a few. All right. So yeah, as far as the receivers go, they're all kind of the same, in my opinion, as far as production. I mean, there's this guy Dante Thornton Jr. He's your big play threat. He only has 33 targets, but he has the most yards receiving at 648 on 25 catches. He's got a 25.9 average and 6 touchdowns. So he's going to be your fade guy, your 9 round.
Yeah, and he just went off their last game. It was against Vandy, but I mean, went off 3 receptions, 118 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, lock him up, Burke or somebody.
Right. Just don't hug him. Don't hug him. Jeff, you got thoughts on this Tennessee offense?
Yes. Hey, finally got a connection. I don't know how long it'll last.
Oh, there you go.
I've been
Go
catching
off,
about
Keith.
every 5 seconds of you.
You got start with
I
Nico
mean,
and
they're
then
gonna
Samson.
test us.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
no, I'm saying I'm they're gonna run the ball on us. They're gonna try to test us. Like it seems like they want to play a little bit like Michigan, much more capable through the air as well.
Right.
Um, yeah, their strength is their O line, and they're gonna want to run the ball. So I mean, we're gonna have to force Nico into passing and then bring pressure. When we execute it right, we're we look pretty phenomenal. Um, stop the run, force third and longs, pretty standard stuff. Bring pressure on Nico, show him a lot of different coverages, different looks, and get some turnovers.
Yeah. What do you think about them only rushing for like a $150 against Georgia?
Hey, 150 yards running against Georgia, that's not bad.
Nice.
I don't. I mean, Georgia's still a good defense, guys. I mean, they're one of but I there's hey, what did he say about us running for 30 yards against Nebraska? You know what I mean?
That's not good. That's what I would say.
I know, but we still feel we have a good running game, right? We still have good running backs. O line, we just hope the O line figures it out and plays aggressive. They could probably easily say the same thing.
Right. All right. So let's see. I was just gonna. Oh, I wanted to ask you about Nico, 6'6", dripping wet. Um, has a tendency to get lit up occasionally in the open field. He likes to use his
Yeah.
big arm. You know. So what do you think about Nico's game?
Okay, I think we're on a little bit of delay here, Joe. So just hang with me. Uh,
Yeah.
I kind of like the kid coming out of high school. Obviously, there's that huge high priced. He got a lot of hype because of the number that was being attached to him. I remember it was like when he was still being recruited, it was like 8.2 million, I think, something like that.
Yeah. It
And
was
it's like
nuts.
those huge NIL numbers. So that's how I kind of heard his name. I'm like, well, gee, who the fuck is this kid getting $8 million from Tennessee? Like he must be legit, right? But yeah, he doesn't like you said, Joe, about him getting hit. Some quarterbacks are just better at sliding, shifting, and just avoiding like the full contact of hits.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He's not one of those guys. But he's not like an RG3, but RG3 was more electric speed and shiftiness. So he's prone to getting hit because that's just like an innate talent. I think with people carrying the ball. Just some people have it, some people don't. That doesn't mean he's not a good quarterback, but yeah, let's get it every chance we can. Let's put on him. Get a good shot on him. Hit him.
Yeah.
Keep hitting him. That goes a long way, especially with young kids like that.
Right.
It's getting beat on constantly.
Yeah, we were just talking about the one receiver that has like a 25-yard average. What was that dude's name? Dante Thornton Jr., number 1.
Yep.
He's got a 25.9 yard
Yes.
average, 6 touchdowns. So he's your 9 route. Going to have to probably roll somebody over top.
You look from over the top. Yeah, the big.
Right.
We're probably going to play a lot of too high safety, anyways. It's not really too high because Caleb comes so much down in the box.
Right.
But we still have that. We are still showing that look and capable of wherever our guys are on the ball, on the snap.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Downs, if he's up to his line, if we're playing that too deep, he's still
Yeah.
going to be covering that ground. So it can be deceptive because Caleb
Right.
and Latham are so good, is disguising their up from run support, or they are able to cover the back.
Right.
But yeah, they're going to look for that guy for sure.
Mm-hmm. What I'm confused on is, Jeff just fell off. The blocking grades for this O line, it's not great, even in the run blocking grades. Like their left tackle He's played 682 snaps at left tackle, Shawn. Lance Hurd, he's number 53. He's got a 46 run blocking grade. You know, that's not great. That's terrible, actually. Their right guard has a 55 on the year. These are terrible grades. Who's this guy?
You don't pay that left tackle to run block. What's his pass protection grade?
Joe, that explains they're only 150 yards on Georgia, I guess, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, he probably got his ass kicked by Georgia's right end, right?
Right.
Is that,
But it's
Shawn
not going
asked
to.
what his yes, with the left tackle's pass protection grade, 61.8. He's allowed 20 pressures on the year.
How many?
20. He's the worst on the team. That's the worst guy on the team in pressures.
That can't sit well in the back of the minds of the Vol fans. They know.
Right tackle's not much better. He has 13 on the year. That's like one per game. And he's allowed the most sacks. The right tackle has 3 sacks. Left tackle 1 sack. And sprinkle in a few others here. They don't allow a lot of sacks, but they have allowed, as a team, 94 pressures on the quarterback.
Yeah, because Nico, he moves around back
That
there.
sounds like a lot.
Well.
Yeah, he does move around.
That sounds like a lot.
Right, it is. Yeah, it is. That's what. Yeah, like what 6-7 per game.
So, well, kind of what that tells me, Joe. Just off the first thing comes to my head. Don't let them double team anybody. 1-on-1, we should be able to win a lot of battles. So let's rush 5. If we're pass rushing, rush 5. And then mix your blitzes, of course, but I would be almost like a standard 5. How you do that with keeping guys deep, I don't know, but there's a scheme. There's ways to do that.
Only had success getting pressure with the blitzes, right? Jack and JT are not beating their man 1-on-1 typically. Jack has done better than JT on the year, but still, we've gotten home by blitzing.
Yeah, exactly. Send in 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So it works.
Yeah,
you're right.
And
it works. We should implement it, I think.
Yeah, I think we will. I was going to go back and check something.
It is on your point, Joe. Real quick, that it is an indictment on Jack Sawyer and JT, as highly touted as they were. That they're not. We should, in theory, work on paper. Our 2 DN should be feasting at the chances of getting at these tackles. It should be a complete mismatch of epic proportion. But it's they have not shown that they can make that on anybody.
Now, one stat I wanted to point out on Nico, when he's under pressure, he has a 42.6% completion percentage, 2 picks, 1 touchdown. He's been pressured on 27% of his dropbacks.
We need to make it 30% or 35%.
Right.
In this game.
The old rule of thumb.
40%.
Yeah. The old defensive coordinator rule of thumb is a young quarterback, you blitz the shit out of him. An older quarterback, you sit back in coverage. So I think that's what you do here. He's been blitzed, let's see, on 34% of his dropbacks on the year. So, yeah, I think if you're the Buckeyes, you dial that up close to 50%, right?
Yeah, I 40 as a safe, 40 should be as a floor. But yeah, I mean, it's proven. I mean, and they're watching the film and seeing, well, what are the defenses doing that's making them at 40% completions or 42%? Mm-hmm. We can we have the guys to implement any scheme that works. You know what I mean? We have the personnel, so the coaches will see it. It's not like they're gonna Tennessee's not gonna come out and fool us with something, and the coaches say, "Well, we hadn't seen that before." That's not gonna happen. That's not that's not not even a possibility. So, yeah, send pressure and then see if it doesn't work, then we adjust. We're great at making adjustments second halves. I think you show them right off the jump. We win it. They get the ball. They get the ball first. Yeah, we show them right from the jump. crowd the line, fucking get in his face, smash the run. You know, everybody in the box.
Yeah.
You know, and you make sure you protect from that big play right off the bat. That opening play. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think you pressure from the jump
Right.
and see how they handle it.
Exactly.
We might not have to
Oh.
adjust. Maybe they have to adjust. That's kind of cool, wouldn't it? Make the other team adjust.
Yeah. Kind
Hey,
of.
hey, Joe, there's a lot of Vol fans in the chat tonight.
I'm seeing that.
A lot of
They're
them.
about to get waxed. They're about to get blocked here. You're not going to have 35,000 fans in the stadium,
No,
dude.
I,
You're not going to plant the flag.
I believe one of them said we're about to get
Yeah.
They said they're gonna wax. They said we're gonna
Yeah, I know.
wax you. Oh.
They are confident. The SEC boys, they're toting that SEC.
Right.
It ain't like that anywhere else.
Yeah, there's some flag carrying motherfuckers, I can tell you that.
I had a buddy Vol fan send me some stuff. It's like
Yeah.
SEC. I said we don't open up with Texas or Georgia. I said we're playing Tennessee. I said,
Yeah.
give me your SEC loyalty bullshit. And I can't get on board with that. I'm not saying go Oregon, or
No.
go Penn State.
I've never cheered for another Big Ten team in my life.
I would cheer for Indiana probably if they did well. Just because I've got no reason to hate them, because they're always terrible.
Right.
But I ain't rooting for Oregon or Penn State.
No. No. Why would you? I don't get that. And then you kind of they try and steal the thunder from Georgia and Bama when they win championships. No, you're still Tennessee. You're still Tennessee. You know, you are not a Bama or Georgia. I don't know why you people think you deserve to be, but you are not. You never will be. When's the last time you won a national championship? 1998. Shit, get the fuck out of here. Anyway. So we got to talk about this defense. Hopefully we can get Jeff back in here as he bebops and scats off line. So yeah, the players to watch here on defense. Defensive end James Pierce, obviously he's a first round NFL draft pick. Then you also got the interior O line or D lineman Omar Norman Lott. He's a possible first rounder. So this is another similar to the Wolverines
Exactly.
kind of scenario where you got a strong D line. I would say the D tackles are not as strong as Grant and Graham from the Cheaters, but they do have a really strong end that's going to be a problem for our tackles. And again, we're on like the fifth version of our offensive line. Ryan Day said that you're probably going to see some changes to the O-line going into this playoff game. So at some point, it's going. I mean, if it's already caught up with us, a couple times really. So you're going to have to start helping out those tackles and even the interior guys with, some help on pass pro. Maybe leave a tight end to help block. You got to start changing your game plan here a bit when the O line is so down.
Well, and don't turtle up and start trying to run it right at that D line either.
That seems like I hope they learn their lesson because it's so still fresh in your mind and their minds. I hope. So yeah, I agree 100%. You probably. I said this for the Michigan game. My number one thing was on offense, use the pass to set up the run. Don't run on first down, second down, then you're in third and long, and guess what? Everybody in the stadium knows what you're going to do. You got to
Right.
throw it, and then you end up punting because you can't complete a 7-yard pass to get a first. So use those screens. They've only done screens on 14% of their drop backs this year, but they do have a nice 7-yard average out of those. I'll take 7 yards per
I don't
pass.
know. So many of them go for -2 yards. Also, I don't know.
Well, it depends on the type of screen. I don't like these wide receiver screens where you have to rely on a tight end to get out there and set the edge. That never freaking works, man. We haven't been good at that ever.
Yeah, maybe some more running back traditional screens, but yeah, the wide receiver
Swing
screens I
passes.
feel are
Yeah.
are. Luckily, we got some athletes once in a while that make something happen out of them, but gosh, they always look clunky.
Yeah.
And if they're sitting on that and can figure out a way to pick that off, that's going 6.
Well, that's the other thing is, we can't have these Will Howard brain farts.
I know.
2
Yeah.
and 3 and 4 times a game. Those will single-handedly. We saw it 2 years in a row, honestly, against the cheaters.
I feel
Kyle
like
McCord.
we've seen it our 2 losses this year were not
Oh, yeah,
Kyle
yeah.
McCord
Yes.
or Will Howard's greatest games.
Right. Yeah. So, looking at this defense, I wanted to talk about. Let's see. Got Jeff. He's back. Yeah. So, kind of covered things on the offense, defense. We're just kind of digging in and talking about James Pierce, the defensive end, and their interior D tackle. What's his name here again? It's like a hyphenated thing. Omar Norman Lott. He's also a possible first-round draft pick, according to some scouts. I was saying that we need to use the pass to set up the run versus the Michigan game where we were using the run to set up the pass. We were running on first down, running on second down. Then we're in 3rd and 7, and everybody knows what's happening, right?
Yeah, we ran Michigan's offense. It's unbelievable.
Right.
Except much less effective.
Yeah. Right. So, looking at this defense, I wanted to talk about we are going to have to run the ball. Now, there's no doubt. I'm not saying we're going to go 50-50 here, run pass, but we are going to have to run the ball occasionally. And yeah, I know.
Well, let's at least spread it out and work the corners a bit and not everything, in the
Yeah.
middle of the field.
Definitely. But I think the middle of the field is where you can make some hay against this defense.
Wow, they got speed. I'm sure they do.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the targets here on their secondary. Number 3, Jermon McCoy. He is the most targeted defensive back for them. He's an outside corner. 58 targets on the season. He has a good reception percentage. He only allows 46.6% completion rate. But when he does allow a completion, it's for 12.5 yards. And he does have 4 picks, 7 PBUs, but 7 penalties. He's their IGB.
He can't hold a candle to IGB.
He's got 7. That's pretty good. That's
And to me, it sounds like he's a guy that he's a corner, plays way off, gives up a lot of shit in front of him, and can play the ball.
And he'll grab a hold of you.
Yeah.
Right. So teams are going after him. That's why he has 4 picks and 7 PBUs, right? But again, he's an outside corner, number 3. Then you got, looking at most targeted, Arian Carter, the linebacker. This guy's a stud. You probably remember him from recruiting.
Yes. 5-star, yes.
Guys
Big time.
that we were going after. 38 targets there, covering the running backs and probably the occasional tight end. But he does allow 8.7 per reception, a 76% completion percentage against him. Then you got Boo Carter. He's another guy in recruiting the Buckeyes were after. He's your slot corner. 291 snaps. He has allowed 1 touchdown, has 1 pick. 36 targets. He's allowed 23 catches, so it's a 64%. And a 10-yard average per catch. So he can kind of be got.
Well,
Now,
yeah, I mean,
they do like to blitz him, too. He has 2 sacks on the season.
sure. Maybe plays a lot like a Jordan Hancock.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's what I would call him. Yep. Let's see who else here. You got Ricky Gibson III. He's number 1. He's an outside corner.
Ricky.
Yeah. He's allowed 2 tight ends, or touchdowns, 36 targets, 61% completion. So, seems like he's not exactly solid. And you got Andre Turrentine, the former Buckeye,
That's the
at
fish.
safety. See, he lines
That's
up.
the fish.
He's a free safety, though. You got, where's the strong?
That turn time starts for them. Wow.
He's
You know-
got 224 snaps on the season. Looks like he split some time at free safety with Will Brooks. I'm not sure who's starting there, but they're very
I got you.
similar in their stats. I would say Brooks is a better cover guy according to his grades. He's a 75 versus Turrentine a 57. So those are the guys in the secondary to look at. I think they can be got. This is the exact same game plan I talked about with the Michigan game. Their secondary had holes in it, like multiple. And I
Yes.
think these guys do too, right? Starting with number 3, Jermod McCoy. So yeah, and like we talked about, you will have to run the ball, but we can't just slam it into their first round draft picks, right?
No.
and you gotta help
their strength
out.
is their D line.
Right, you got to help out in
Yeah.
blocking.
If we do that same game plan, I'm gonna absolutely lose my shit.
I think that's impossible. From what Ryan Day said last week, he acknowledged that we ran it way too many times, even though it was a 33 to 26 ratio, something like that. It still was too many. And again, like I said, who cares about the numbers? Take the stats and throw them out the freaking window when it comes to run versus pass. What gets you the victory?
Right.
Sir.
If it's working,
Yes.
keep running it. I don't care. Yeah. If it's working,
Yeah.
keep passing. Whatever's working, keep doing it.
Right. Yeah, and that's one of the negatives of Chip Kelly, in my opinion. He's a hard ass. I guess you could call him patient if you want. I would say kind of bullheaded about running he will keep running the ball like we saw and running it and running it and running it in hopes that it's going to somehow magically win the game when it doesn't.
Yeah. Yes, the Michigan game plan against Tennessee and the stick with itness, I guess, that we had, we will have every right to lose this game because they're a better offense, a way better offense than Michigan. That's not comparable. These two teams, the teams are not comparable. The strengths are
They have
similar.
a functional quarterback.
Right. The strengths in the teams is similar. You know, their D line and O line, ball control, hit a deep pass, but talent is not equated. Tennessee is a much better team, so we cannot play that game plan against them.
Like I've said, use the pass to set up the run. Sean, I was in the middle of, we were talking about the screen pass, remember?
Yep.
And we were agreeing that the traditional screen to a running back is best, not those tunnel screens and slip screens that we can never block correctly on the perimeter. But then I also, in addition to setting up the run with the pass in 0 through 9 yards, your short yardage throws, 44% of Will Howard's dropbacks, they ran these 0 to 9 yard plays. He had an 82% completion percentage, a 7.7 average. That's where I think you can take advantage of this defense. I'm not saying I don't think every play can be a big play, but you get the ball out quickly, like 0 to 9 yards, and get it in the hands of your playmakers. Let JJ shine. Emeka, everybody, Carnell. Let these guys
give it to them enough times. Yeah,
Right.
and it might only be a 7 yard, 7 yard, 7 yard, then boom, 60 yard.
Right. We've seen JJ take a little crossing route and go, you know. And Emeka can do it. Same for Carnell. These guys, they need to get those hand warmers, get boxes, truckloads of them, and be ready, because this is our path to victory, in my opinion. The running game is not. I know we got great running backs. The O-line is still the issue. Everybody in the country knows it. Tennessee knows it. We know it.
Yeah.
So that is half of the running attack is the O-line. If you can't block you can't run it.
Yes. And we were all so confident that with a lead, we can lean on our running game, though, to be able to, because of the talent we have there. And at the end of the game, it's much easier for these linemen to just go downhill and run block in the fourth quarter versus dealing with that speed pass rush. Right. So, yeah, I have confidence that if we get that lead late in the fourth, like we expect to have each game, we can lean on our running game to eat that clock, a la Penn State.
Yeah. So, all right. Let's. Anything else you want to add here? I mean, before we get into
Joe, I missed half the show. I got all kinds of stuff to add, but go ahead.
Specifically, like what?
I don't know where you guys have been most. A lot of the shows. So no, I'll just go with it. Keep it going.
We hit on Nico. We hit on Sampson. We touched on some of their run grades on the O-line are really bad.
Yeah.
And their pressure grade, their pressures they allow. Defense, D-line is obviously their strength. We talked about the linebackers and the secondary. So I think you probably got a little tidbit of each thing.
Yeah.
I would say this is another game where the fans need to bring it. This is a playoff game, right?
It's a playoff game in the shoe.
Right.
Yeah.
Force these guys into a silent count. You saw what that did to Indiana. It fucking ruined their entire operation, right?
Yeah.
Night game. You guys, everybody's been bitching in Buckeye Nation about 6 noon games, big noon games all year. You got a night game. You got a chance to shine. There's going to be drones in the sky. I don't know where they came from. Could have been New Jersey.
It's going to be a show.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's a spectacle.
So, yeah, we need the players and the fans feeding off of each other, getting that energy going, like, for 4 quarters, man. This is not going to be an easy game at all. Force that silent count is my point.
No, we're going to have it's sold out in 10 minutes, I think, the game tickets. Right. Buckeye Nation's going to be there, and they're good. The atmosphere is going to set the stage. The players got to hold up their end of the bargain, and not give up these 9-play, 12-play, 8-minute drives. We run the ball, or we have 7 plays in the first half versus 7 plays in the fourth quarter against Michigan or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's not have something like that where time of possession we don't ever have the ball. Offense isn't clicking, defense giving up long drives, and it's 7-0 Tennessee at the end of the half. Something like that. That's going to kill. That kills any crowd.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
You got to.
And I think right now we've got a kind of a fickle fan base, and if it doesn't start going our way, if they start questioning the play calling in that, the crowd's going to be a huge factor. It's going to be a huge factor.
It has to be. It freaking has to be, man. There's no two ways about it. Yeah.
Joe? Excuse me. What's your take on Herb Street's comments earlier this week?
That's the dumbest thing he ever said.
You know what I'm referring to? Okay.
No, what was it?
What
did he say?
It was the night that the bracket was announced. Was that Sunday afternoon or whatever?
Yeah. Yes.
He said that Ohio State might be better off playing on the road because the fans will boo after the first 3 and out.
Because of how unhappy our fan base is with the Michigan loss. and how kind of like how the how unnervy or whatever the crowd will be,
Yeah.
or you know like that would that. Yeah, pretty much calling out our fans
no
and our
fan
team.
base has ever booed their own team after a 3-and-out ever. I'm sure Tennessee fans have never booed their team after a 3-and-out at home.
No, but if you, but I mean, Ohio State can be a special breed in that regard. And again, I think it's, we're spoiled because we've been at this high level for so long, and there's some truth in that. There's the potential to get booed.
Hey,
well,
you know how to avoid that.
Don't do what you've done the other games you failed.
Of course, it's the easy solution.
Right.
So like,
win the game. Simple.
If I'm in the stands right now, I'm not going to the game. Obviously, I have no. But if I'm in the field, if I'm there and they run the ball 3-and-out, and we look like shit, and then I'll take the Michigan game. Those 3 or 4 drives in a row were nothing. Yeah, I'm gonna boo. I don't give a shit if we're playing Northwestern in September 30th. I'm booing then. If we're constantly doing the same thing and it's not working, and we're not getting any momentum.
Punt. If it's run, pass, punt, I'm booing.
I'm booing that. I'm booing that on a Friday night at the high school.
Exactly.
Come on. So don't. Yeah, I mean, it's on our. It's kind of our team has to kind of do their part to not bring the reaction you're going to get from the fan base.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's all about execution too. I mean, like if our guys aren't blocking, well, O-lines get booed in the South if they don't block. I don't fuck if anybody says.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Let's see. So, before we give our score predictions, this Ohio State senior class has no hardware to speak of. No national championships. No Big Ten championships. No gold pants. Now they got a shot at redemption. There's only one thing left to do. Win the whole fucking thing. Right? Now they got to win 4 high-end games over some tough opponents in 32 days.
There will be no debate if they pull this off. There will be no debate that they're the best team in the country.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And that's another talk to the bracket. I know you started to get into that earlier tonight, and I'm not trying to revisit it, but there will be no question. This is a very tough pass, if not probably the toughest. Maybe not with scarlet covered glasses, but it's
definitely the hardest.
And that's given mad respect to Tennessee, to these teams, the SEC teams. So the ACC guys, don't get offended. Back the fuck up. It's giving respect to you guys. We know it's gonna be a game with y'all. I'm saying it's a tough fucking road to play. Potentially Georgia, Tennessee, Oregon, right? Or no, it would be Texas and then Georgia. I mean, we would have to go through all of them to go play the title. If they win, if chalk went.
Oregon, then Texas, then
Oregon,
Georgia.
then Texas, then Georgia. Yeah, okay.
Me and Shawn talked about
chalk.
the locations too. The Oregon
games
in LA.
Home games for them. Yeah, on the road.
Yeah, Texas game in Dallas, Georgia game in Atlanta. So yeah, lovely.
And I looked, I didn't realize that Athens is damn near a suburb of Atlanta.
Oh yeah.
It's right down the road, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
All right,
I mean, it's a very tough path.
Yeah, I mean,
we're good enough to do it.
Path.
We're in it.
A bit of a run. It's momentum. It's all about momentum and staying as healthy as you can be at this point, right?
Yeah, somebody's losing a quarterback. So one of these games, a quarterback is going to be. They're going to lose a quarterback for the remainder. Who's it going to be? I mean, it's just odds will tell you there's going to be injuries. Maybe not quarterbacks, but maybe star players, a star defensive player. Some team in this playoff is going to lose a guy. Are they going to be able to overcome it, or is that going to be the reason they get knocked out because of the the close competition?
And we can't afford another loss along the O line. I mean, that's
Jesus, O line, of course, but I mean
now one more.
Yeah,
you might as well just cancel Christmas. So
and yeah.
All right, so let's get into our predictions here. Buckeyes favored by 7.5 at home. Over under a 47.5. Start with you, Jeff. What do you got?
24-21 Buckeyes.
Okay, 24-21.
And yes, I'm not saying that's gonna be 3 touchdowns and a field goal. I'm not I'm not expecting field goals. Somehow we get to 24.
That seems doable.
Don't think we're gonna be kicking much.
Yeah. Why is that? All right, Henry, what do you got for your score prediction? I'm popping all the comments up on the screen while.
All right, I'm going 28-17.
Gotcha. All right.
What's the over under,
A
Joe?
little bit bigger.
Oh.
47.5.
Okay.
You guys are both under. I don't know, man. I'm feeling like this might be a bigger. Shit.
Go over. Get over, boy. Go over.
And the talent is very similar. Buckeyes are still better. I did want to look up that blue chip ratio.
Vegas is saying that we've sent from the jump we're over a touchdown favorite. It hasn't wavered below
Right.
7. Sent from the minute it was announced. What's Vegas now? What are they thinking?
I'm looking at the blue chip ratio. Tennessee is not.
That didn't help us against Michigan.
No, I know.
No.
All right,
It doesn't help
they're
us with
not
most
even in the
teams
top
because
20. Okay.
we have more than just about everybody, which is why you don't let your talent. If you don't let your talent play, it's questioned. Well, why not? Because you have the best talent.
Yeah. That's why I'm going with a bigger margin of victory. I'm going
Wow.
31-14. I think this Buckeye defense is going to just suffocate Nico, and they're going to hold Sampson under 100 yards. That's all we can ask for, right? I mean, what more do you need?
Yeah, if you can keep
These
them under
receivers
100.
do not intimidate me. Again, we talked a lot of shit about the Ohio State secondary, the corners especially, but they're 6th in the country in pass defense.
Yeah, still
yards
not
per
bad.
game.
Right.
So they're not giving it up. You know, you might get 1, maybe 2. You might get a penalty on IGB, but that's not a completion. So, anyways, I'm going 31-14. Again, under. It's supposed to be. Oh yeah, I had the weather here. How the fuck did that go?
The temperature won't be the issue. If there's wind and if there's any precipitation, it's
I don't know. Right now they're saying 24.
Let's see. I got a 31 for a high, 15 for a low on Saturday.
24 sounds about right for game. It's Saturday night,
Game-
so yes,
game
24
time.
sounds about right.
A little humid, 68%. Wind,
Oof.
11 miles an hour. No chance
The-
of rain, though.
I mean,
So-
dress warm, Buckeye Nation.
That doesn't
Yeah,
mean we can't pass the ball.
exactly. It does not. No.
Yeah, please. This is a message to the coach staff. I know they're listening. That doesn't mean you can't pass the ball.
Right.
True.
When in doubt, throw it to 4.
Yeah, let's see more of that. I don't think anybody
It
in the
works, guys.
secondary-
It works. It works when we do it. Let's do more of it.
All right. Let's go microscopes. Jeff, what do you got for your offense microscope?
Oh, I want to pick a lineman. Congratulations to our center, our Remington winner this year,
Yeah.
Doug
Wish he was on the
McLaughlin.
field.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, we missed it. I'm sure he feels worse than we do, but microscopes on offense. I'm gonna go ahead and take it. I bang on you guys for taking the quarterback because it's like the given one. But Will Howard, are you good?
Yeah.
You good? You good, bro?
We talked about his
Show
brain
me.
farts earlier. Can't afford those.
Will Howard. I did just for that effort. Yeah. What's his bounce back? What's his bounce back look like? You know what I mean? I want to see that. That's what I'm excited for.
All right, Henry. Who do you have on your offense? microscope.
Offense, I'll go with Igbuka. I think he needs to be that reliable guy that, we get the passing game going. Someone that Will Howard can rely on, sure-handed, sure routes.
Yes. Yes.
Big game.
A lot of
that guy.
underneath stuff, and those 7 yard routes that he busts one of them for 50.
Which he's very capable and shown he can do. Shawn, I would expect Igbuka to be our leading receiver in catches and targets this game.
They really go at him in the big games. Go back and look at any of the
Yeah.
top 5 matchups: Indiana, Penn State, whatever. He is the target.
He can be the target against anybody. We don't have to just save him for certain games. Let's just use him.
No.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you. Like, hey guys, let's just use him. We don't have to just save him. He can catch the ball in every game. He's
Exactly.
great. He's great after the catch. Yeah, I expect him to be the leading receiver. Yeah, good call, Shawn.
Who you got, Joe?
I got Jeremiah Smith.
Okay, the other one.
I think it was pointed out numerous times that he maybe didn't get the touches. I think he had maybe 1 or 2 targets in the second half of the Michigan game.
Uno.
I think Brian Hartline more than pointed that out to Ryan Day and Chip Kelly. So I expect a 10 to 15 targets at least. That would be my 10 would be my basement. More realistic 15. So Jeremiah on offense. Jeff, who do you have on defense?
Ooh. JT Tuimoloau.
Ooh.
Please be a dominant force on the edge in front of all these SEC people. Please show them that we have one. I'm picking you to be that one.
Okay, I like it.
I flipped the coin between him and Jack. But please, let's show the country that we have that guy too.
All right. Shawn, defense.
All right, Joe. I'm gonna steal your thunder.
Oh,
Cody Simon,
oh,
Joe's boy.
it's a good
You
one.
know that he's gonna need to make sure everybody's lined up right. He's gonna need to, back up that run defense and slow this Sampson kid down. It's gonna be a lot's gonna be on him. Play calls, alignments, and good tackling. So yeah, I'm going with Cody.
Okay. Yeah, we can't have guys missing tackles in this game. Sampson will run through. What I say, he was 3rd in the country in forced missed tackles in Power 5. So that's legit.
Yeah.
71 forced missed tackles. And then if you do make contact with him, he's fallen down for almost 4 yards. So, yeah, Simon and all the linebackers got to show up. Be interesting to see if we go with a 4-3 against this strong running game, bringing the third linebacker.
I think we'll see a lot of Arvell Reese, Styles, and Simon. I think you will see a lot of that. Or whatever combination they think that if somebody's gonna be better in Reese's position. And sometimes Styles is out because they kind of take him off. They're kind of afraid to leave him alone in coverage now. So I've seen there's a lot of CJ Hicks. More last game. CJ Hicks, Arvell Reese, Cody Simon. So whatever combination of that, I think you might see a lot more linebackers. But Jordan Hancock is one of our better players. I don't want to see him off the field a lot. I think he can.
It depends on the formation and personnel on the offense.
Yeah. If they're getting linemen out on him and shit, then we got to change. We got to change personnel. But Jordan, I mean, what I'm saying about just Jordan Hancock overall. He's one of our better defenders. We should have him on the field as much as possible. He is still able to play, and tackle and play the run. So it's not just because you think they're running the ball. Oh, get the small guy off. No, he's actually one of the better guys.
Yeah.
But I'm sure the defense. I'm not coaching Knowles about any of that stuff. I mean, I have confidence in those guys that. But we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I say you load the box from start to game. You stop the run, get in his face, tight man, and see how it goes. Adjust after, but make them prove that they can do that.
I'm going with Tyleek on defense for my microscope.
Yeah,
He's
plug
going to
the
be
middle.
key in stopping this run. He is one of the top graded run defenders on this Buckeye team. To go back to Shawn's pick, Cody Simon. Cody Simon's second on the team with a 90. Tyleek with an 84. Jack and JT up there with an 86 and an 87. So Tyleek,
They play great run. They play against Grady.
Yeah, we need peak Tyleek to shut down this run and control the game really up front and let those linebackers feast, you know. So I'm going Tyleek there. I got nothing else. Anything else for you guys? You want?
Oh, I won't have anything else until I can give fucking these Tennessee fans a little bit after the game. So I'll have plenty then.
They are confident, aren't they, man?
They should. They should. Well, you know what, dude? What the fuck did we just do? Our last game. They have every right to be confident. I mean, look who they've beaten. I mean, they beat some good teams. So yeah, I would feel confident as hell. Yeah, and if alternating views, if we were traveling Tennessee, coming off flip flopping situations, I'd feel confident as shit. It's the SEC, man. You know they are. They think they're automatically, because we're north of Mason-Dixon, that we don't know shit. Like, oh, you guys got a bunch of talent. You're not tough, or whatever the fuck. I don't know what all they say down there.
Well, I hear, Joe, I hear there is a lot of Tennessee people buying tickets in the shoe.
It's not going to be 35,000 like somebody fucking said in the chat. That's for sure.
No, but we got to be able to.
I think I might be up around 20% at the most. That would be my max.
Well, we got to drown out Rocky Top. We just got to. I don't want to fucking hear. They play Rocky Top about 50 times a game. I don't want to hear. I don't hear Rocky Top 50 times. Fuck that.
I didn't hear it at all.
That's what I'm saying. So let's not,
It's our freaking stadium.
Let's not get Buckeye fans sitting down with their arms crossed, and Tennessee fans bringing fucking cowbells, hopping the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't. So like they can. You know what? If one fan base is live and the other fan base is dead, the numbers, it could be 80-20. That fucking 20 is still going to be loud, and it's going to sound 50-50. You know, that's what we got to avoid that shit too. I mean,
what's happening?
They're going to try. They're going to try. They're going to try. They're going to be loud. They're going to be nonstop. They're going to want to be louder than us constantly. And it'll show on TV. So,
right.
There's a way to prevent that. There's a way to prevent that. Keep your fucking crowd live.
Yep.
It's tough at 24 degrees, probably feels like 15 with the wind chill.
Exactly. But you got heaters and shit, heated benches. Isn't the field heated to some degree?
Well, yeah, the players are only going to be cold when they're in the huddle.
Right.
But the fans are going to be cold from the jump because they got those the fucking metal seats.
Metal bleachers,
Metal bleachers. Ugh.
That sucks.
It sucks to heat right out of you.
Bring something to sit on, man. You got to bring a towel or something.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I mean, anybody that's coming to that game that doesn't have some kind of seat warmer or something to sit on, that's crazy. That just, you're asking for punishment at that point. There's a way to,
in here.
There's a way to protect it. And plus, there's going to be plenty, I'm sure there's going to be plenty of brown and white spirits to keep everybody warm.
Yeah.
They're not going to be, I don't think they're going to be too fringe. I think a couple flasks might make it into the stadium.
You got to be committed.
Yep.
Sit out there.
Yep.
Oh, I'm taping like
probably with all the pageantry in a playoff game. You know,
this is what we wanted, right?
Today, I mean, they're not getting out of there till 12:30.
Oh God.
I mean, and this is what we wanted, though, right? Buckeye Nation. We wanted to host a playoff game. How cool was it? Did we ever think we would host a bowl game or a chance a playoff? Even before playoffs were ever talked about. Imagine if we could host the national title. No. Well, here's our best chance. Yeah. You can't just not show up and because it's fucking cold. This is what you wanted. You're Ohioans. You live in this
It's a
shit.
long walk. It's a long walk
You know what I mean? It's
back to your car after losing that game. Long walk.
it's a long drive back to Tennessee too, bro.
Exactly.
Could be a long drive back to Tennessee. 71 to 75, or no, I don't know. So they go to 70. It's over in Knoxville, so yeah, 77 probably. Whatever.
All right.
Go home,
Well,
hillbillies.
that's right. I got nothing else, so we will be back. I'll be back Friday. We'll talk a little bit more Buckeyes and Vols. Get you geared up for that. Maybe we'll touch on some of the other CFP games. Get your picks and predictions. I'll give you my best bets for the 4 playoff games. We got bowl games starting Monday? Is that correct?
I don't know.
Oh, we already had some yesterday. Jackson State, South Carolina State, South Alabama, Western Michigan. Tuesday is the what the frig is that?
Yeah, exactly.
Scooter's
These bowl
Coffee
games.
Frisco Bowl. All right. So
It was nice to see. It was nice to see that Michigan got Bama for whatever bowl they're in.
Oh, they're going to get
That's the Outback Bowl, I think, right? The old Tampa. That's the Tampa Bowl. It used to be the Outback Bowl.
I drove past the Citrus Bowl today, and you can't spell citrus without
UT. Barrier.
Too soon, Vol fans. Eat it. I saw Deadwards just declared that he will be sitting out that game. Shocker.
Will Johnson is sitting out of 2, believe.
I think Mason Graham might be sitting out.
I
Loveland.
I would think
Loveland
Graham would be like, yeah, I'm done. I'm not doing this.
Right.
I think I saw a scroll on the Sports Center. I saw Loveland's name, and I thought it was saying that he was sitting out, but maybe it just said he was declaring for the draft. But I thought it was saying he wasn't sitting sitting for the game too.
If I'm him, I'm sitting.
Confirm.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, at that point, if all your best players are,
I mean, unless you got
it's
something to prove, and I think Loveland doesn't. I don't think Grant and Graham do. Will Johnson doesn't. Those guys are kind of already cemented to me and where they're going to be drafted, and like, for what now? Now Milroe for Alabama. Maybe he wants to go out there and put on because he sucks. He's like, let me show him I can play this game.
Well, he needs a quarterback too. That position's different than any other position, I think. Even in today's world, I think that the quarterback is a little separated from the rest of the positions. But you're right. Miller definitely should want to prove more to the NFL scouts about passing ability.
He throws freaking laser beams.
He'd be a great NFL tailback. I tell you, I think he'd be a great tailback.
Man,
or G2, or G's another one. I think he would be a great tailback.
Bo Pribula, or as I like to call him, Fibula, entering the portal. So getting nuts in the portal.
5 stars in the portal.
Plenty of time for the Buckeyes to get some dudes. I think we're going to go heavy in this portal.
You're going to have to bust out the checkbook, man. The portal's about the money now.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. And I would say it's worth spending the money on somebody that's already been in a college system versus a true freshman like a David Sanders. I don't care if he's a 5-star or not. Give me a guy that's ready, plug and play like a Josh Simmons,
IGB.
Get a kicker, maybe. Maybe get a kicker.
Overpay for that type of stuff. A what?
Maybe a kicker. We could go, have somebody that can kick field goals.
Yeah. It's a thought. I thought about that, Shawn. I thought maybe it might be a good idea. It's just maybe kick the tires on somebody that can kick a ball.
Exactly.
There's probably kids at D3 that that are kicking 60-yarders and shit. Go find a kid. It can't be that hard.
No.
There's 40,000 Australians just fucking at the airport waiting.
I guarantee you Fielding is not kicking for us next year. I just hope he doesn't cost us this year.
Real quick, Joe, I know of like the first 4 Buckeyes that jumped in the portal, Devin Brown and those guys. Has there been any as recently last 24, 36 hours?
No.
Okay.
And those guys may all still be staying with the team.
Sure.
I don't think
I know
anybody's
Devin Brown.
committed to another school yet or anything.
Well, I know Devin Brown said he was going to stay with the team, and from what the coaches said, Ryan, they said that's like on a case by case basis. What if the player chooses to or not? If they talk about it and come together and agree on what would be best for the kid. So I just didn't know if there was any announcements like just in the past day or so that I wasn't aware of.
Does that mean that Brown's still the backup quarterback? And
Yeah, definitely.
No, that was a question. That was a question on
I
the
think
radio
he
this
has to be.
week.
He just went in the Michigan game when Howard got knocked out.
yeah,
I think he has to be. And saying, I don't know. That's a whole other podcast talking about who's going to be the next quarterback.
no, but you just had another 3 weeks for saying to get ready.
I think that I tell you what, I think there definitely needs to be more of an emphasis over these 3 weeks because it's like a mini spring workout, mini spring practice almost, right? I think Saiyan needs to get a lot of work where we get down to the third guy in this bowl game or this playoff game. We can't look like Keenholz, the position he was put in last year in Missouri. You know what I mean? Where you act like we can't have. We got to make sure we have the time. Let's get Saiyan a lot of work.
Well, again,
It,
that's the offensive line issue we talked about.
in addition to our obviously not take reps away from our ones and twos, but get him developed in case we're gonna need him. It's very possible we could need him at some point.
He's not going to get enough reps because we're playing a real game this year, and you're not going to put him out there.
No, I'm saying just. No, I'm not banging for him. I'm just saying let's try to get our third quarterback also some reps in case we need him. I'm not expecting him to come in place of Devin Brown, but in case we need the third guy, let's not make it look like Keenholz was looking last year as a third guy.
Yeah.
Never had no preparation at all. Let's just try to get some more for him in case we do need him.
Right. All right, boys. Good show. We appreciate everybody joining us and all your comments in the chat, except for the volunteer fans. I volunteer you to never show up here again. Anyway, I'll be back Friday, 4:30 Eastern. Please join me then. And we will be back next Sunday, 7:30 Eastern, for our instant reaction, win, lose, or draw. Draw is not really an option anymore.
The Christmas edition.
There you go. Yeah, pre-Christmas. Christmas.
Joe singing carols.
Yeah, sure. I'll unveil my
Let's
gifts
go.
for
First
all.
playoffs.
All right. All right, let's do it. Talk to you guys later.
See you, bro.
Go Bucks.